Hi Edwin, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing great. So this movie, outside of, the trippy, you don't know really who you're looking at. You don't know what's really going on. How is it for you to play? I mean, it had to be so hard to play your brother's brother in a movie that is when we're right out the gate, we have to really just like love these two as brothers. So then when we go to these other spaces, we kind of still are like, can we trust them as brothers or is there something going on?
Yeah. Y- yeah, the creative process, as far as building those two characters, was solely based on our relationship in real life. We're very close. There's a lot of love there, a lot of respect there. I think my brother is a phenomenal person, artist. And he's motivating and inspirational in a lot of ways. And I really wanted to show that love, that connection between these two brothers. That no matter what's going on, that they have each other's back. And as you see in the story, Alex, my brother's character, is. He's in a bad situation. Lost his child. He thinks he's losing his wife, and my character Martel is there to kind of hopefully be the voice of reason for him. And as you traverse the different spaces, the one thing is that's consistent is my character being the voice of reason. But we see a distinct change in Alex. We kind of see how um, or what the loss of the son has done to him in these different worlds. And so with that contrast, I thought it was interesting to see this change in everybody. We all have these slight differences in these worlds. But the one thing I wanted was for Martel, my character, to just be that consistent voice of reason. And then that plays over to Vanessa, and her journey. Her journey is the most important journey in the entire film, because she is the audience is her, prospectively. And while you're taking this journey with her, um, you're then able to experience, her what her life would be like in these different worlds, in a sense, based on Alex and Martel. Um, so the story didn't really, it wasn't really hard to portray. Should I say it wasn't really hard to go ahead and perform, because I think 30 plus years in this industry, my brother and I, we've worked together before,
Yeah.
but 30 plus years in this industry, it became instinctual, if anything.
Yeah, and with a movie like this though, where they all are the same, you're playing all the same character, but they all kind of have different like leading moments in the scenes that we get to see them in. Did you have specific approaches to each of those versions, or was it just kind of the same approach, but just like taking in whatever happened? Like, for instance, the one where he was very upset and drunk when they get to see him and like stuff like that.
Yeah, it's different approaches, right? It's in each world, the loss of the son affected everybody differently.
Yeah.
All right. It is, in one version of Marcel's life, he actually ended up, killing his brother and his wife, and then ultimately losing the child. So in that scene, that's what you're seeing.
Mhm.
In another storyline, uh, Alex believes he killed, the son, and he's trying to get over it. He feels like the wife is just, always on him about it. And so that's when you see him kind of boil up and boil over. And obviously she's going on her own whirlwind of a story, and, knowing she's, probably ultimately the cause of her son's death. But then she gets to a world where, it's not her fault. How does she deal with that? Well, what is this? So yeah, I think we did the best we could with paying attention to distinctly identifying who these characters are in the different worlds, because they have to be different stories,
Mhm.
not just for us, not just for the intriguement of the show, but it has to be different for Vanessa and her journey. this is what makes her adventure so chaotic.
Yeah. And I do have a question because at the end I was like, oh, I feel bad. He didn't get to go and like go in the spaces in the way that like Alex and Vanessa do. But then when the hiking question comes up, it was just instead of like a no, where it's like, nah, I don't want to hike, it was such a like fighting no from both those two characters that I was like, so did he go in the space? And then he took over someone else's space and he got to be in this one because it was such a thing. Was that for you guys? Did you guys have conversations like that, especially as it gets deeper and deeper and you don't really know whose space like they belong in?
Yeah, so that obviously you try to in a movie like this, you try to leave Easter eggs,
Mhm.
things that will connect you at the end to something that's happened in the middle or beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And if if you're paying attention, you'll know who Martell is,
Yeah.
and you'll understand why Vanessa has the reaction that she does have. Um, they've met before,
Mm.
so how and where they met. I think that's for the audience to figure out. But yeah, we wanted to leave a little sense of suspense, at the end, like what the hell is going on? And you are the third person that actually asked that question. And I'm glad, no, I'm glad I'm getting that question because we wanted to leave as much as we wanted closure
Mhm.
for the characters. We also wanted to leave some type of door opening um, for one's imagination or maybe another story if we decided to make one. But yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it, and
We're
there's a connection
all
between all three of
we're
them.
all side eye. We're all like, what does that mean? Everyone watching this movie is like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
Um, for a last quick question, with a movie like this, I do think it is very interesting and fun to like think about all of these different spaces that they get to go into. Was there a version of Martell that you were like, I really liked playing him. He was a fun kind of approach to that character within the spaces outside of like, Vanessa's original kind of space.
hmm yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, my one of my favorites is actually we call them angry Alex. They all had like different adjectives. It
Oh
was like
yeah, and then he's screaming.
like sad Vanessa or forced Vanessa or angry Alex, and that helped us distinctly, know who we were talking about in that
Mm,
given point in the scene. But the scene with Aldous and Danielle, where she realizes she's not like for the first time she realizes she's not in her space. That scene really, really, really got me. Um, I love playing the drunk Martel. Because we don't really see him being emotional or anything in the
mm,
film, but when you do, it's at 100. He takes it to 100. So that was a cool moment in the film, and then every one of Danielle's moments is a great moment in the film. She came in and absolutely killed it.
mm,
Um, but yeah, it just all around, being able to provide an opportunity where artists can really um, perform and perform in different aspects and ways and lights in one film. That's one of the objectives, and um, we had fun doing it.
yeah. Thank you so much for talking to me. I loved the movie. I was like,
Thank you.
I watch a lot of movies for work, but I was like, I'm kind of obsessed with this one. I have so many questions. Like I was like,
Hey, that
figure
is
it
that is
out.
that is humbling. I will say that for sure. We put a lot of work and thought into just the whole process in general. And we really wanted to kind of step out with our first film. Something that would be impactful
Mhm,
in many ways, or inspiring, or just entertaining. We don't really care about like the big reviews and everything like this. This is our first film, and we just for us, we wanted to prove that we can make this happen, that we can actually put a movie together. And what comes of it. People are going to have their opinions, but it's definitely motivated us to keep going. The responses have been amazing, and we're just going to ride on that. So prepare for some more stuff from us, and yeah.
Because I love this. I'm like, I would not go into the tree circle, but I do
Nah,
love
nah.
the idea. Love the idea of seeing what my life could have been.
Could have been, yeah, in many different spaces. Yeah.
But thank you so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait for people to get to see this. I think people are
All
gonna
right.
really like it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Have a great one.
You too.
Bye.